awareness, and advocacy. Let me tell you a bit about how one of these works. Education and support. Via their 48 state offices and nearly 700 affiliates, NAMI offers a host of signature programs, presentations, and support groups that are available free of charge. This includes a national helpline that can provide information, resources, and a compassionate, understanding trained volunteer to support anyone who calls in. Now, if you want to be more involved in the fight against mental illness and the stigmas it can bring, you can reach out to NAMI via their state organizations or on Facebook, where they can be found as NAMI, N-A-M-I, also on Instagram and Twitter as NAMI at NAMI Communicate, or check out their Tumblr blog, notalone.nami.org. It's not a weakness to need help. Reach out if you think you need help. Now, we've had some lovely people help out with this marathon, and we would love to say thank you to Carrie Fry for designing the RPG Limit Break logo, several of the sub-emotes, and some of the promo banners. Check out her work at carriefry.com. KARIFRY.com. We have a $10 donation from an anonymous donor. Warning! The runs you are about to see are canon. As someone who deals with depression and anxiety, NAMI's mission is one that is close to my heart. Even though I'm out of work at the moment, it's the least I can do to throw some money at this incredible cause. You folks rule. And now, it's Our Revolution, featuring PinkPajamas.
Hello, everyone.
What? There we go.
So a little how I found this game is that when I was learning Japanese, I found this on as a Let's Play, a Japanese Let's Play, and it was really funny. So I routed a speedrun for it, and here it is.
So he said, as you can see on the layout, it says RPG Maker VX Ace. This game was made pretty much entirely using user-submitted and/or default RPG Maker assets. And now that might sound like a red flag, but the way they use them is unlike anything you've ever seen. So yeah, this is a very special game.
All right, I'll just start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Pajamas.
So the story, we want to talk to the king, but he doesn't want to listen to what we have to say, so the guards are just going to take us out. So this game, if you know what Snake is, this is what it is in RPG form.
JRPG form,
yes,
to be exact.
And that right there just explains
Whoa, you can sprint.
Yes, you can sprint. I did not know that until after I did some speed runs to this.
And it was accepted to the marathon.
Yeah. I got a few party members in my party. I got 10 people now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the gimmick of this game, as you can see, is you can recruit literally everybody. Now, there is some caveats, like he can't recruit everyone in this cathedral here. He's trying to get a specific number of people before moving on, and I believe that is 30 for this particular church.
30 for the area. I just need to get to 50 for a certain spot.
Yeah, because once he gets to 50, he'll be able to get certain higher-ranked characters, and those are going to matter because although almost every interaction in this game is you talk to something and it either gains or loses you party members, there are boss fights that happen sort of like an actual RPG. So he's being careful here because you can't actually walk through your party members, which is similar to Snake. So you want to carefully maneuver your conga line here to not bump into them and get yourself stuck. If you get yourself stuck, what you can do is go into the menu and hit retry, and it loads to the beginning of the area. Or you can talk to a character, and it dismisses every character behind them.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you could go this way, and I did a blind race with my pal Gulo too, and we played the entire rest of the game and missed this part. There's a lot of non-linearity to this game. It's a very bizarre game, but I still think it's... I mean, it speaks for itself.
I don't want to get stunned by these gazers. If I go next to them, I'll just get stunned, and that's no good. So here's the first boss, and we get to see the combat system. My attack pool is completely random, so I have to re-roll my attacks to get what I want.
Yeah. Most attacks will either gain or lose TP, the meter you see on the left. Basic attacks are usually weak, like defense commands. Some characters just have a do nothing command, and that gets a little bit of TP. But if you have it, it works as a resource that certain abilities do a lot. So like Assassin Edge there uses 50 TP, but it does a ton of damage.
Yeah, most of these characters he's recruited so far are just useless villagers with some really decent adventures right now.
Yeah. By the way, nobody actually dies. They all go back to the place that that he got them from. And now you can recruit the gazers now that you've defeated the boss of this area. And they're going to be important because they have the ability to paralyze.
Yeah, any enemy that contacts you in the map also knocks out a random member of your party, I believe. Or is it just the first one?
And if your question is, can you recruit everything in this game? The answer is actually yes, you can through some means or another. Certain things you do require specific items, like you can't recruit the cat until you have the ability to speak to animals. We're not going to get all of that. We're basically just building up a long conga line of people who are going to be useful. That being said, Pajamas is going to be very particular about the people that he speaks to get in his revolution line here.
I'm going to do a bit of a backup strat and get or not really backup strat, just a marathon safe strat, and get a few more party members for Dryad, because Dryad is the worst boss in the entire run.
Oh, yes. Yeah. A lot of randomness to it.
So, go
So defeating the dragon allows him to break wood here. Usually, you gain the ability to either destroy something or add something to your party.
Yeah, every boss you defeat allows you to recruit all the enemies on the map, and then each one allows you to interact with more things on the map itself, allow you to access more places.
So what Pajamas is really going to want here is some form of status effect on the boss.
Specifically Aura Blade.
Yeah, he wants Aura Blade because it has the chance of inflicting silence, which it just did, which is actually phenomenal. Dryad is basically completely helpless almost.
Completely helpless. All she does is attack and will never hit.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. If she's not silenced, then she will put your party to sleep and just obliterate you completely.
The thing that we don't want to see the most is the Drain skill, and where she just gains health. That's just no good.
Yeah. So it may look like he's just running through the motions here, but he is particular about his party member because this fight can go wrong so many different ways. The fact that he's doing pretty well so far is... It's not a guarantee, that's for sure.
All right, there we go.
That's actually among the hardest fights in the entire game.
So I just need to walk out every time. So the next boss I need to fight is a cow, and the best way to fight a cow is to get bunny girls. So we're gonna go to the bar and recruit some bunny girls.
Oh, and every character you recruit does go to the front of your line, so you gotta make sure you have some buffer between your good party members.
Yeah. It's not quite like walking into a building and then walking out the other end of the building and just seeing your conga line like enter from the entrance of town.
Yeah, you walk around the entire town and find out you're still blocked.
It'll get great later on where we can see separate parts of the dungeon, and you can still see a part of our conga line in that dungeon.
Yeah, so now he needs to be careful if one of these enemies faces him and moves into him, he can lose a party member. It's the person in the back, I believe, that goes first. But he also needs to be careful he doesn't get locked into a space, which can happen and would force him to hit retry and restart the entire area. So this is Cow. It's not actually a required fight. There are some required boss fights, which I can get into in a moment. But Cow is just extremely useful for the run.
We need Cow to get the captain.
Right.
And you need the captain to complete the game.
Okay. Yeah, that is true. Okay, so
there is another way to get the captain, but it's slower than getting Cow. I don't have any bunnies in my party.
There we go. So yeah, as each character gets fainted, they immediately get replaced by the next one in line.
So he wants to hit it with Confuse and basically make it take a ton of damage.
Yeah, Confuse. The cow does a lot of damage, and the fastest way to get it to do damage is for it to hit itself, like that. And when you get the cow, you can destroy metal objects, which includes the kind of rocks in here. And I need the be able to beat metal objects so that I can recruit the captain, so that I can get onto a boat, so I can get another one of the spirits. Kind of the goal to be able to fight the Dark Lord is to collect the 4 spirits.
Yeah, generic JRPG plot. Collect 4 spirits, defeat the Dark Lord.
Yeah, you can technically complete the game at any point by talking to the king, and it sort of gets you a different ending the more you've done. So defeating the Dark Lord is sort of seen as the biggest overall objective in the game. Once you get the Dark Lord, you can recruit anyone. And yes, you can recruit the Dark Lord. But so the goal is just essentially to beat what is effectively the last boss of the game.
So here I'm being particular in who I'm recruiting. I want to recruit apprentices because they're a lot better in combat than anyone else. Like, I don't want these average folk, really average people, but I'm also going to grab these sailors. They're decent, but numbers are more important than the quality.
Oh yeah, every single NPC has an individual name.
Sailor E, Sailor G.
And they're all unique.
I'm still partial to Sailor J, though.
He carries you pretty hard.
Sailor J, no!
I only lose members in the back of my party.
I know, it's just pissed.
Yeah.
Which are the first 50 that I picked up in the run that I don't really need. I needed to pick up 50 so that I can recruit apprentices. Apprentices will only join you if you have at least 50 party members, and they're just really, really good in combat. They're not the best things, but they're really easy to get to, relatively.
So he's going to go fight Ifrit, who's the fire elemental. They're sort of like, the 4 spirits are sort of like the 4 elementals of a lot of RPGs. Side note, all the music in this game is like default RPG Maker music, but it actually holds up, I think, personally. As much as people can, harp on RPG Maker for the admittedly large numbers of not really effortful games, it is really nice to see like just little simple ideas like this game that know exactly what they're doing and just, play to its strength. This game is just so goofy and enjoyable.
So the thing is once I finish Ifrit, I'm just going to walk back and recruit all these sailors when they die, so being able to recruit the sailors and then come back, it's going to be pretty convenient that way. So the double attack from the normal sailors does the exact same thing as normal attack. It just costs more TP, and I'd rather not that happen. But I can't be picky with the commands that I get because I can't really do damage with defend either. I'll take it's not the greatest.
Yeah, as you can see, enemies just kind of demolish your party. It's very much a quantity over quality situation. And unfortunately, you can just end up in situations where you have a front line of 4 really weak people because you kind of got unlucky.
That's also just bad recruiting. All right.
So I really want to recruit these bombs. They have self-destruct and will be very useful later because they have self-destruct.
So yeah, the line never stops. Ever.
Yeah, I have it specifically routed so I know how much I need to move my snake to be able to go through areas. And sometimes when I want to recruit something, it'll just walk out of the way and I just have to keep going. NPC movement is kind of tricky. And if I make any movement mistake where I get kind of locked in, I have to restart the area, and that would mean I would have to refight the boss or get rid of my entire snake. If I talk to my any of my party members, then everyone behind that party member will just get completely disbanded from the party.
Not just that, he would also have to revert back to the beginning of when he came into this town before he even set sail for the island.
Yeah.
I made that mistake more than once in one of my runs.
You can say scum though, right?
So this area, why don't you explain the joy of this area, Ghost King?
It sucks. Yeah, this is like one of those like lost woods. Lots of parts will loop. Sometimes they'll just be dead ends, and dead ends are terrible in this kind of game where you can't walk through your party
especially
members.
you see those nice narrow one pathways.
And you need Dryad just to get past that tree.
Yeah, so now we're gonna go fight Sylph, who's I believe the second to last of the 4 spirits left.
So yeah, if you recruit a party member that allows you to interact with some environments, and then they die in battle, you have to go back and recruit them because you can't interact with them as long as they're not in your party.
Yeah, so that's particular with the cow. If I lose Dryad in that fight, I would either have to go back and recruit Dryad again, or reload the save. Fortunately, I can save wherever I want. So before every single boss fight, I just hit the save, and it takes like 1 second. That's what I'm doing with my menu. That's fine.
He doesn't want to end up in a situation where too many characters are using a super skill. Otherwise, if he doesn't have the TP, they just don't act.
Mostly, I want to avoid the situation where I would lose the TP before the super skill would go off, and they just wouldn't use that skill. There she's down. I don't really want to get the elves in my party because they don't actually do anything but heal, and I don't want that. I do want the bats because they have defense down, and that's important later.
Yeah, overall you just want to avoid useless party members. Except for the beginning of the game.
It's one of the few games where bats are not jerks.
They are jerks until you recruit them.
They're not too bad.
Yeah, I need 5 in specific so that I'll always have 1 for a specific fight. So I have 100 people in my party. I think I need a little more, so I'm going to go to the Thieves' Town here and recruit a few more. Just going to go into this building, have all the thieves join my party. I can only get in here as long as I have Ifrit.
Ruffian Z, where's the AA?
It's going to be recruiting a lot of people. I think this would probably be a good, decent opportunity for donations.
Sure thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have any donations at the moment. But just as a reminder, this is RPG Limit Break 2018, and we are supporting NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So you are donating to a good cause when you donate.
Actually, Dramas, do you know where people can find this game to try it out for themselves?
It's a free game. You can probably just search It's Our Revolution. The English patch to this is by a VG person, and you can find it on, I think, his site. It also has the RPG Maker redistributable that you need to run the game. And you just download the game, download the redistributable, and you're good to go.
It's just it was just a little fun game to like kill 2 or 3 hours for.
And to note, to be able to run in this game, you hold shift, and I did not know that when I first did a speedrun of this game, because how I was introduced to this game was that Japanese Let's Play that I saw, and they did the entire thing. They recruited every single party member while walking.
I saw Pajamas submit this and get this in the limit break. I'm like, low-key, this is going to be one of the most entertaining games. And I post a link to a video in which the character is sprinting, and I get a response from Pajamas where it's like, you can sprint?
Yeah.
And suddenly the estimate came down 10 minutes.
Yeah, I just needed my Naga sprint trainer to tell me how to use my legs.
Yeah, I was watching Pajamas play this AGQ 2017. That was a fun experience of what the heck are you doing? Because the game was still in Japanese. He didn't even know about the English patch.
Yeah, I searched for an English patch. I just guessed the English name, and It's not called our Grand Revolution or our Great Revolution. It's our revolution. So I just didn't know it existed before I did a few attempts of it. And then someone was like, oh, this is what it's called. There's already an English patch. I was going to make one myself, but it's already there, so I don't need to. So about this fight, the Thieves and Ruffians, they'll get my TP all the way up, and since I need a whole lot of party members for the final boss, and these guys, pretty much whatever they do is going to be helpful. They don't have like a defend command that I don't care about, and they will increase my TP, so on the final boss coming up, it's going to be nice having that TP and all of the extra party members.
Nice still not getting the boss though.
And the final boss, he's going to want as many characters who can actually deal chunks of damage as he can.
Yeah, I want 130 kind of as a low estimate, like minimum for the number of people.
Yeah, but the important part is that they have to do damage.
Yeah. So for another kind of bit of marathon safety, I'm going to go back to the main town and recruit 2 rogues and 4 extra party members.
That 4 is actually an extremely significant thing. He's not just doing it. Doesn't. He's just gonna get 4 random people because it doesn't really matter because they're kind of gonna be sacrificial lambs to the final boss, who is kind of brutal.
Go, middle-aged man B. So yeah, the 4 spirits are collected again. They're on the same party and like, oh.
Yeah, so there are 4 heroes waiting for us right here. They're going to be some of the most important party members of this last section of the game.
Now
So now we're in the Dark Lord's castle. The final boss is coming up. Time is not on the defeat of the final boss. It's when you talk to the king. So that's going to be in a few minutes. Gotta be careful not to lose party members. Although at this point, most of his back line is just townsfolk, so it doesn't matter too much.
Make sure you catch the dialogue in the boss fight. It's pretty great.
If it shows up. Yeah, you can see my snake just barely going into the to the area.
Hey, there they
are.
All right, we're at the final boss. So there's a particular quote from Futurama that I think embodies this fight in general. So here, all of his party members are sort of like acting to do a bunch of damage, just about half. The Dark Lord will attack twice around and kill everyone. It's basically killing your
Guaranteed kill on
8
everyone.
units. So basically, the strategy here is to throw as many guys as possible and hope you can out-damage him.
I kind of find it funny how the four spirit names you have, like Ifrit, Sylph, Dryad, and Frau. And that's just the word for woman in German.
Come on, get to that line.
It'll be a little while. Ooh, nice.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
If I'm lucky, I can kind of get an infinite with the ruffians and thieves, just continually stunning them. So the bats have ultrasonic wave, which has
That's
defense
good.
down, which is good. Doesn't always proc. And the reason why I want 5 is so I'm guaranteed to always have at least 1.
So it may show he has 87 party members, but a lot of his backline is not going to do hardly any damage, so he really does not want to lose too many more guys. It's also why he picked up a lot of bombs.
Yeah, these bombs are really good against them.
And that's also why he picked up scorpions along the way, to kind of space out his bombs so that he doesn't have to kill them all.
Oh, we didn't get the line.
Oh, he's not dead
one
yet.
chance. There it is. Yeah. Hey, it's not over yet.
So I need at least 10 TP by the end. So I beat the Dark Lord, so he joined my party, and he has the most powerful skill, Teleport, which is where you just go out of a dungeon.
You just send wave after wave of guys because he has a set kill limit.
So
Alright.
because of the Dark Lord, the king had to raise taxes because the towns were getting raised. And he's like, well, the reason why we had the taxes raised was because of the Dark Lord. Since he's part of your party, I guess I'll listen to what you have to say. And it's our revolution. again, this is a free game. You can go download it. Either in Japanese, you can find the Japanese name is Bokura no Daikakume, or you can just get the English patch from VG Person site. And that's it. Ghost King, you're up next.
What a great run from Pink Pajamas. It was worth not watching that run until now. And we have a $5 donation from Epic Kai 13.